So we're going to do a quick video on how to replace or how to change out your ignition harness, right? So I removed some extra bolts I shouldn't have. They're the shear bolts on the steering column. You won't have to do that. So you're going to see that they're missing when I point out where they're at. You'll see it and then you'll know why. I'll explain why it didn't happen. So basically you're going to want to move out or remove the steering wheel, turn signal, and cruise control. And once you get those two out of the way, you're going to get out the buzzer here. That actually goes up in here. That's where my shear nuts were. They shouldn't have been removed. Then there's a screw that goes here. It's a grub screw. It's inside of there. It's kind of off center right now because I moved that. That's actually the steering lock. Okay, so the steering lock goes on to this piece here. That hole that lines up there. So once you get this out of the way, all this the wires and the harness, the turn signal switch and all that good stuff out of the way, you're going to be able to access this that grub screw. You're going to remove it, and then you're going to pull this harness out, but it's not going to clearance the bore of the ignition switch. Okay, so that's real important to remember right now, and you'll see how you're going to bypass this. So basically, you see how that's off center right now. It's not in. This is not in this gap here. That's because I clearanced it. I pulled it forward. The way you do that is you're going to remove this plate. This plate holds the ignition, the steering wheel lock. So you'll be able to, once you remove this and you have to drill. So you remove, okay, so this is going to be your headache, right? This is called a shear bolt. And the shear bolts, I removed these ones here. You don't have to remove those. This one, I don't know why they made it a shear bolt. They're used for to be able to collapse the steering wheel. So if you're in a crash, your chest hits the steering wheel, they'll actually shear. That's why they call them shear bolts. So this is a shear bolt. I don't understand why it's here, because it doesn't make any sense, because that's not connected to the steering wheel. But anyway, so that's it right there. That's what this goes up in there. And once you remove that, okay, well you're gonna want to drill it out. Chisel and hammer is not gonna work. Look how I beat it up. Usually that'll work. You'll hit it with a chisel and you'll turn it. It won't release. So drill it out and use an easy out. So if you don't know what an easy out is, this is what they look like. Drill a deep enough hole, maybe I'm not sure how deep, more than an eighth, so you get it pretty good in there, and you can go ahead and turn this. Once you loosen this, you take it out. This drops out, but you'll still have to drill a hole where there's this divot, and you'll see it. It's that right there. And I'm not sure why it's not focusing. It doesn't look like it's focusing for me, but it's right there. That right there. You drill it in 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more, and what's in there, if you look in the manuals, there's a retaining spring. So it's just basically a spring that hangs up. Once you remove this spring, you go inside of here and you press, and you're able to use your key, right? Your key to the right, so you turn the key, and then you're able to go ahead and just pull that out. So you turn the key so that it unlocks the steering wheel. So you're able to pull it back, and hence you can see that this is off center. That was enough clearance to pull the harness out, right? And now, what I'll do is I'll just do the reverse. So I'll put it all back together now. I hope that's helpful. The reason, let me explain to you the reasons why I ended up doing this job. Is when I first bought the car, I drive it, and it would literally just cut off the ignition. The idiot light would come on, the oil, and the battery light would come on. And then I would turn the ignition off and then on, and as the car's moving, this is like seconds. The car just acts like normal and just keeps on driving down the road, so it would cut off. And then recently, It literally just cut off. And this was happening intermittently, so it didn't like happen all the time. This last one was scary because I was on the highway. I was going 80 and it just, everything cut off. There was no warning lights, no lights would come on inside the car, headlights, nothing came on. And in inspecting on the side of the road, I had the ignition switch on. I used a telescope lever here, and I pulled the steering wheel back, and as it extended, you know, it locked. Well, it went all the way back, and as it shuttered in place, like it stopped, all the lights came on, right? So then I figured that's the problem, is the switch, the ignition harness, right? So this is it, and you can see I showed you guys, there's a crack right there. Right there's a crack. You can see it. There it is. Out of focus, in focus. It doesn't know. Doesn't care. There it is. In focus. There we go. Okay. And I bought these parts at Autohaus AZ. I think it's just under 100 or just over 120 bucks for the new harness. It's a genuine BMW part. So it's Autohaus. It's AUTOHAUS. Autohaus AZ.com. Well, anyway, I'll put the link below. If the video is helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. Join. I'm into vintage VWs. I've done some artwork on that. I sell t-shirts, but I'm gonna start doing E28 stuff because I really love the E28. It really is a fantastic driver. I love my vintage Volkswagen. I don't think I'll ever sell these cars. I'm gonna probably just hand them off to some, you know, my nephew or something, or one of my nieces, somebody that likes these cars. But anyway, hopefully this was helpful, and give me a thumbs up, and if it helped, share, and I'm going to go ahead and post it on the my E28, and you know, share it. I appreciate it. Thanks.